Good morning from Prudent Prosperity, Thursday, October 23rd. Here are 5 things you need to know today. Number 1, stock futures are moving lower Thursday as investors pore over a barrage of earnings reports from major companies and keep tabs on developments in U.S.-China trade relations. Major U.S. indexes lost ground yesterday, led by declines in tech stocks, one day after the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at a record high. Dow futures were down 0.2% in recent trading, as were S&P 500 futures, while futures tied to the tech-heavy Nasdaq slipped 0.3%. Gold futures, which have hit a series of record highs lately but stumbled this week, were up 1.5% at near $4,125 an ounce. Bitcoin was trading at $109,000, up from an overnight low of $106,700. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note, which can have an impact on mortgage rates and other consumer loans, ticked higher to 3.99% after it recently hit 6-month lows. Number 2. Tesla shares are down in pre-market trading after the EV maker's quarterly profit came in short of analysts' estimates, even as it returned to revenue growth following 2 quarters of declines. Tesla posted earnings per share of 50 cents in the third quarter, below the 54 cents that analysts tracked by Visible Alpha had estimated. Revenue in the period rose 12% to $28.1 billion, beating estimates. Tesla's revenue grew as customers rushed to take advantage of an expiring EV tax credit, though the company's investments in restructuring and AI drove its costs higher. On the earnings conference call, CEO Elon Musk touted the company's advancements in AI, self-driving cars, and humanoid robotics, highlighting the technologies as the firm's next stage of growth. Tesla's shares, which through yesterday's close had gained 9% so far this year, were down 4% ahead of the bell. Number 3. IBM shares are sharply lower as a slowdown in software sales growth offset revenue and profit numbers that came in ahead of analysts' estimates. IBM said that third-quarter revenue rose 9% to $16.33 billion, while earnings per share were $2.65, well above the $2.44 that analysts had been expecting. However, the 10% increase in software sales to $7.2 billion came in slightly below estimates and raised concerns about the company's growth trajectory at a time when demand is booming for cloud services. Shares of IBM, a Dow component, were down 7% in recent pre-market trading. Coming into today's session, the stock had gained 30% so far in 2025. Number 4. Intel is scheduled to release its third-quarter numbers after the closing bell, and traders anticipate volatility in its stock price following the report. Analysts tracked by Visible Alpha expect quarterly revenue for the embattled chipmaker to have declined slightly to around $13.16 billion, while its adjusted earnings are estimated at 2 cents a share, an improvement over its loss of 48 cents a share in the year-ago quarter. Intel shares have risen roughly 85% so far this year as investor sentiment has been boosted by a series of major investments in the company. The Trump administration in August took an approximately 10% stake in the company, and Intel has also received investments from Japan's SoftBank and AI chip giant NVIDIA. Intel shares were down about 1% in recent trading. Number 5. Oil futures are surging after the Trump administration put sanctions on Russia's 2 largest oil companies amid pressure to end the war in the Ukraine. The Treasury Department said the sanctions on Russian oil firms Rosneft and Lukoil are designed to degrade the Kremlin's ability to raise revenue for its war machine. 3 West Texas Intermediate futures, the U.S. crude oil benchmark, were up more than 5% at $61.50 per barrel. Brent crude futures, the global benchmark, were also up about 5%. Now is the time to stop the killing and for an immediate ceasefire, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in a statement. And that's it for today.
If any of today's insights sparked a question or made you think about your own financial journey, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let's take your next step together, strategically and confidently. And always remember, stay prudent, stay prosperous, make it a great day.